Hi friends, it's Cindy from Shenandoah Papercraft, and I'm going to start a new project. I found these two antique books for $1 each at our local swap meet, and as you can see, they're pretty trashed. This one is Practical Grammar, and it's from the mid-1800s. And as you can see, somebody went to town with a pencil on it, and the spine is about ready to fall off. And there's pages ripped out, so there's no loss in redoing this book. So I'm going to rescue the covers on these and make soft spine journals out of them. This one, I think I'm going to work on this one first. Let me put this one aside. This one's called The Prince of Abyssinia, and it's the as you can see, the spine's already fallen off. And I have taken out and saved the first few pages. Look at the binding on this. It's wrapped this way in little signatures, it looks like. And it's just, you can barely touch it. It's just disintegrating. So I'm going to save a few, what I can, and put them in here. For these two books, I want to use as much authentic ephemera as possible, like papers, photos, postcards, and such. And I have a lot of ephemera pulled. I've got like old receipts and some ledger papers. I've just got a lot of old magazine clippings from the from the 1800s. I've got look at that, and the foxing on them, and there's ads. There's all kinds. Here's old checks. So I've got plenty of vintage ephemera to work with. Photographs. I've got lots of photographs. On this one, I did pull the cover pages off of here and I joined them. Let me show you what I'm doing. Because it's going to be a soft cover spine, I am going to use some of these. I have one of these fabrics. I have a vintage blouse. I thought this would be really pretty for the spine. I have this gorgeous pillowcase, which I hate to cut up, but I want to use it, so I've been hoarding this one. And there's also this blouse I could use. And this would be part of the soft spine, so if I took the covers, it would be like a piece of this would be the soft spine that held the paper, that holds the pages together. And what I would do, I learned this from Shabby Soul, Suzy. She's got a fantastic channel. If you'd like to watch her, I can link her channel below. But she has all these great ideas, and one of them is how to sew the signatures right onto the fabric and then join to each fabric pieces on each side of the covers. And like that, it would look something like that. And that's what I'm going to try and do, something similar to that. And I wanted to use, like I said, here's the first page in the book, Prince of Abyssinia, 1888. But since these things are crumbling and falling apart, there's no way you can sew these. They'll just rip. So I have joined the two. And I'm going to show you how I did that. These two are joined. I did not join them with paper because paper and paper on disintegrating paper equals disaster. So since I'm going to sew through it, this is what I've used. I've got some natural colored little seam binding like this. And what I did was I opened it up flat and ironed it out, and that's what I glued down, the 2 pages on each side. And now that is so worthy because it's fabric on paper, and it's not gonna rip when you put the needle through it. So I will show you how I did that. So here's chapter 1 from the Prince of Abyssinia, and as you can see, it's just, let me take those apart. It's going to be like this. So what I'm going to do is figure out what side I want to join them on, and I believe I want to join them on this side. So I've got this to put on here like this, so I'm just going to cut a piece off of that. I'm going to flip them over. Let's see, that's already torn. So I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to put some Fabri-Tac glue down. Smear it with my finger there a little bit. And I'm going to try and line this up as best I can. Not going to be perfect. Yep, see, it's already ripping. So that will make it sewable down the middle. And I'm going to cut these off when it's dry. I'm also gathering different laces and ribbons to mix in with my ephemera. I've got some really pretty ones in here. Got a whole thing of this. This is great. It's probably from the 40s. Just all kinds of little laces and trims. And some of my ephemera, this, like for example, this is Monsieur Eugene René, which is my great-grandfather, and this is from 1902, it looks like. He was from, well, he and my great-grandmother were from like Switzerland, France, Germany area. They kind of went back and forth between them, and this is all in French. And I've got like an old postcard in here from 1906. So I'll be gussing up a lot of these ephemera pieces to put into the book. So I started with these as the beginnings of my signatures. I've got the cover page here, and I'm just mixing up some actual ephemera in here, papers, vintage papers, and I may switch them around. This is just the first go around. I've got here's a vintage receipt and insurance underwriters, household goods, or looks like house insurance, 1917. An old dictionary page. I've got a stack of avocado dyed paper I made up and made a little pocket, and I've got an old original photograph in here, and then I've got different things in here so far. This is a letter. I'll do a flip through in the next video of this all completed. This is just the starting of it, and I'll be putting things in between these signatures as well. Here's a contents page. I did the same thing, and I got here's an old catalog book page of 1882 fashions. And just various vintage papers. This one's from 1915. And some music paper connected to the back here. Music magazine from, let's see, there's a date on here. I don't see a date, but it's quite old. And then this one, chapter 1 again. This is what I was just starting to, this is the one I just put this down. And I'm just starting to collect some papers from an old art book. And I just folded this piece of avocado dyed paper in. And I'm going to be putting more in and making some ephemera pieces to go with it. So the next video you'll see this book completed, and then I will go on to the other one, the almanac book.